anyone out there? Welcome to the stream where it's just a lot more enemy silliness, and I mean that's basically it. That's the only like word the only phrase I have for it is anime silliness, ridiculousness. I mean, it's also like tropey and it's just weird. Oh, okay. Alright, I was just looking at something in my dashboard. Okay, so I think this got to a point where they were like camping. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. The group was in a town where there was some sort of like vigilante hero who was supposed to be like Batman, Dark Knight. So that was funny. And now, I think traveling on, and we're just like at a campsite. Like, whatever. Alright, so we choose to clear the area off of the main road and set Sparkly on it, and I split up to search for firewood while Zack and Kara prepare our rations. Amy unrolls her sleeping pack and lights the campfire. The Pungo cuddles beside her and watches the dancing flame. Ooh, pretty. Once the food is ready, all of us gather around and begin to eat in silence. Oh, hey, James. Kara playfully breaks the silence.
Foiling another void operation. Seems like just another day in the life now.
Actually, now that you mention it, we have seen a lot of void presence lately. Weren't they supposed to have been disbanded and outlawed? Why are they everywhere? Oh hey, what? Are you talking about school? Your online classes you already hate it? Oh, okay. Well, at least you have the time.
Unless every single person who believes in Void's ideals and goals are gone, it's impossible to fully get rid of Void. They've always been around, even after the Tree of Asaria. They're just more secretive about it now. It's just, you won't find them unless you know where to look.
It's
what you say about Void and its operations are true, then the most logical course of action would be to alert the Mage Guild or Academy of their whereabouts.
They're probably already aware of Void activities and have missions to monitor or take care of things.
It's true that the Mage Guild is involved with a lot of suspicious reports of magical activities. I'm sure many of them have some connection to Void, which the Guild would keep secret so as not to entice widespread panic.
That makes sense. A resourceful organization like that would have some serious flaws in its intelligence if they were completely blindsided by all of this.
What has been said seems sensible.
Zack points to the bag of spheres.
What are we gonna do with those? Someone will probably come looking for them.
Not necessarily. We could just hang out with them.
We'll turn them into the Mage Guild of the next city, and let them know what happened.
I'm sure you could do that too, I guess. She tries to secure the bag when a blue little head pops up.
Boy!
The Pungo really gets everywhere. The Pungo dives back into the sea of spheres, and we hear contented sighs of Poi.
Pongo! What are you doing in there?
She reaches straight into the bag and pulls him out, much to the Pongo's dismay.
Boy!
He struggles against her grip, but she grabs him firmly. If a Pongo absorbs a tainted sphere, will the Pongo become tainted too? Amy shakes her head.
No, the way a sphere becomes tainted is by becoming supersaturated with energy, thus becoming unstable. A Pongo's absorption of energy is to turn sad energy into fuel. He is unaffected by the type of energy absorbed.
So... I wonder if the Pongo was to, like, absorb energy, if it would, like, re-stabilize it. Kari looks intrigued. She scoots closer to the Pongo and tickles him. He giggles.
Huh. I never knew that.
If that's the case, why aren't Pongos used against Void? Send them into Void establishments to absorb the tainted spheres.
Absorbing spheres doesn't happen overnight. And when a Pongo is full, he'll stop absorbing energy. Just like how we can't eat anymore after we finished a meal.
Oh, well. Alright, screw me then.
Perhaps in a span of a couple months, a Pongo could remove all energy within a tainted sphere.
Exactly. The process is just too slow to be effective during a battle.
The Pongo manages to wiggle out of Leona's grasp and plops down beside me. He stares longingly at the bag but makes no move to return. We finish up eating and begin to clean up. Afterwards, I stifle a yawn. The stars shine. Pinpoint. The stars shine. The stars shine pinpoints of light amidst the black sky, and their comforting glow makes me even sleepier. We've had a long day. As the rest of the group also gets ready for bed, I crawl into my bedroll and close my eyes. The night is still, and gradually I can hear the soft breathing of my friends as they each drift to sleep. A gentle shuffling noise has me blink open my eye. I see the Pongo slip out of Leona's bedroll and tiptoe as best as it can because it doesn't have feet, and over towards the bag of spheres, glancing back every so often at her sleeping form to make sure she doesn't hear. When he gets close, he shuffles the last few inches to the bag and scrambles inside. The last thing I hear is a purring of poise as I drift to sleep. yeah, it seems like there's no harm in letting him, like, absorb what he can. Maybe I'll keep him off trouble, too. I wake up. That was a crazy day yesterday, but we somehow managed to pull through. I stand up and stretch while looking around. Everyone seems to be sleeping. Everyone but Liana, of course. She is always up bright and early to practice. I think she is rubbing off on me because I'm waking up early these days too. Alright, user. Wait. I look down at my Pongo. What the? He's a bigger blob than I remember. He grins contentedly. Were you absorbing energy all night?
Poi.
Harry Pongo, you do you. I shrug, he can do whatever he wants. He's a wild animal. I guess. I stretch again. Ever since I got into the routine with Hannah, I look forward to our morning spars. Between the manic training and sword training, maybe I could eventually become a mage knight. This guy is so hard up. It doesn't take me long to find Liana, back in her usual outfit. She sits cross-legged with her eyes closed as if in meditation. Her crystal glows in her manipulator, but otherwise she doesn't move. As I move closer, she breaks from her trance and gives me a warm smile.
Good morning!
Hey! Oh wow, aren't you cool? Just like, hey. And just practicing energy channeling? She nods.
I was just waiting for a certain someone to wake up so we could spar.
I really don't like any of these choices. I mean, this is just like stupid conversation, alright, whatever. I guess I'll go for the super stupid one. You've revealed my trap card.
Huh?
Exodia Obliterate. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, but I was never too into it, so...
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, sorry, I just had to get that out of my system. I really my blade. Liana looks a bit distrustful, but does the same.
We'll start with a standard spar. The goal is to knock your opponent to the ground. Ready?
My grip tightens around my blade. I nod. Let's go. We dash towards each other, and our swords meet in a metallic clang. Liana spins around and swings her sword towards my side. I bring my sword down, and hear another clash as metal hits metal. Then I push her blade back as I move to strike. Liana easily parries it as she knocks my sword away, creating an opening. I manage to dodge her strike just in time. She ducks low to avoid my retaliating blow and dusts her sword again. We continue to dance back and forth as the duel progresses. I can feel myself improving. I'm not having as much trouble defending against Liana's attacks, and I'm able to get a few jabs of my own in too. Well, good for you. See the sweat cover Liana's forehead in a light sheen. It doesn't look like she's using her wind magic to buff her. Liana matches my intensity. Something she does every match. Just as I feel confident I have the upper hand, she increases her skill level, and I have to scramble to keep up again. Regardless of my improvement, I still haven't been able to beat her in a single match, and those sticks do hurt my pride a little. Maybe if he can distract her and catch her by surprise, I'll have a better chance of winning the match. I've been playing by Leona's rules this whole time. Maybe it's time to take a play from textbook. Do whatever you need to win. Yeah, sure, let's be a jerk, why not? I wonder if it's even possible to battle Leona. I guess we'll find out soon. What would be the best way to distract her? Squirrel! Oh, that is so, like... So... So, like, sitcom. And, like, so childish. This... I remember something like this happening. Yeah. So stupid, so childish. Yeah, let's go squirrel. Leona, there's a squirrel. Leona narrows her eyes.
Trying to distract me won't work.
As she speaks, she lunges in, and I have to jump back to avoid her sword. That was close. Looks like I'm the only one who's getting distracted. I better refocus. We continue to spar as usual, trading blow for blow. But ultimately, as she has done so many times before, she manages to knock me over. Leona looks over to me and offers me a hand to help me up. As we cool down, she gives me some more pointers on how to improve, as well as offers some encouraging words on how much I've grown. After a brief break, Leona has still a few more times to help with my endurance and training. She's barely broken a sweat, even after my limbs feel like lead and I can barely stand. No wonder Mage Knights are such a force to be reckoned with. Everyone else is up by the time we return to camp. Well, quick change. I smell the delicious aroma of food and grab myself a bowl. Once everyone is served, we sit down together to eat. After a few minutes of silence, Amelia seems to remember something and grabs a book from her pack.
Here.
She hands it to Kara. Kara brings in surprise, and I notice it's the same book Kara gave Amy back at the Earth Temple.
You don't want this anymore.
Amelia shakes her head.
I have read through the literature and it does not contain any information which could be of use.
Really? We found it in an old temple. Are you sure it's not something that the Mage Academy would want?
The text is a subjective moral lesson in the way of a fictional story about an adolescent. This yields no academical benefit.
Okay, if you're sure you don't want it, then I can sell it. It's still an ancient relic after all.
Do as you please with it.
Alright, thanks, Amy.
So it was like an ancient YA novel? That's interesting. Once everyone has eaten their fill, we clean up camp and continue on our journey. We travel together for quite some time. Finally, the sun begins dipping low and streaking the sky with sizzling pinks and yellows. Rocks crunch under our boots as we continue down the path. The air is brisk and goosebumps shiver up my arms. The hell goosebumps work? A sharp breeze cuts through my clothes and I wonder how much further we need to walk. We managed to drag our way through, the chill deepening with each vanishing beam of sunlight. Kara leads the way a few steps ahead of us. Zack's expression is hard to read, but I notice him pull his coat in a little tighter around him. Leona rubs her hands together before puffing a hot breath into the cradle of her palms. The Pongo nuzzles against my neck and disappeared into my scarf. Heat even colder than usual, making me shiver again. I guess I'm not the only one noticing the chill.
Aw, poor little guy. It's pretty cold out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We should pick up the pace. When night falls, it's only going to get worse.
My teeth rattle from the cold, and I tuck my freezing hands under my arms. The bitter breeze swirls through Leona's hair and makes her shiver. She coils tighter into herself. Amelia's cloak balloons out behind her, and she lifts her hood over her head. Yeah, why isn't she using fire magic? Hey, Amy, can't you use your fire magic to keep us warm?
Such an expenditure of energy would be wasteful.
Ask me if I care, Amy. Come on, Amy. She shakes her head. I let out a deep, defeated sigh. A human furnace would have been so nice. We continue on. The wind ruffles my hair and passes right through me, numbing me with cold. Even Zack bolts into himself and stuffs his hands deep into his pockets. Amelia yanks her hood tighter around her ears and face and tries to keep her cloak from billowing out too much. Leona keeps her head down, the frigid air turning her cheeks pink. The car is walking ahead of us with a little skip in her step. Her arms dangle at her sides as if she's just taking an afternoon stroll. I nudge Zack. Is Kara not cold? Maybe she's frostbite of the brain or something. Zack untucks himself from his coat long enough to take a look, then his voice drops too.
Doesn't seem like she is.
Leona hears us talking and blinks in surprise of Kara.
How is she not cold?
Oh, shut up, you idiot. What kind of magic is this? There's only one explanation. She obviously knows magic. Zack and Leona just stare at me. Never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys talking about me?
I mean, it's a better explanation than like anything else. My mouth drops. How does she always hear us? Leona and Zack look alarmed too. Amelia just blinks at the commotion.
Aren't you freezing?
Kara looks at her blankly.
I don't think so.
Zack's stare intensifies. His face is frozen in a confused grimace.
Seriously? How's that even possible when you're barely wearing...
Kara tilts her head and raises an eyebrow. She smiles, and the rest of Zack's sentence trails off. Yeah, this... I mean... I think the game was released... like... a few years ago? I'm trying to remember the date that was... Or, oh wait, I still have the Steam page open. I think... Oh yeah, definitely that makes sense. I could totally see that. Yeah, they do have like that kind of yeah, this came out in 2018. So like what, 3 years ago? But yeah, it is this weird kind of like sorta anime, but kinda not style. That was like big when a lot of different countries were doing shows in like an anime style, but like since they were from different places and like grew differently, it came out to like different like overall looks, yeah. Yes, very weird stuff. Yeah, like Weeps. I wonder if it's because she has that 8-bit book. I bet that's something.
Seriously, what's your secret?
Secret?
There's gotta be a secret to it, right? Or some kind of heating device that's keeping you warm?
Amy steps over and checks her manipulator.
She does not seem to be using any magical assistance to keep warm.
Are you guys a little chilly or something?
Yama's trembling becomes a little more noticeable as she huddles between me and Amelia. I glances at each of our trembling forms, and for a moment she seems confused.
Oh, wow. You guys do look cold.
Because it is!
She watches Yana, Amy, and I step closer together for warmth, and her expression changes like a light bulb went off in her head. Which one sounds like Starfire? And are we talking about like the what was it, like the 2000s version of Teen Titans? Or like, I think there's a newer version. And like, yeah. She turns to Zack and her mouth spreads into a slow smirk. The way she's looking at him reminds me of a fox eyeing a rabbit.
Actually, you're right. I'm freezing. Ooh.
She wraps her arms around herself and feigns a violent shudder before cozying up to Zack.
I'm terribly, terribly cold.
He shuffles away from her. Ooh. Cool.
What are you doing?
Be nice.
Trying to stay warm, of course. Aren't you cold too?
I'm not cold.
Jesse says that when the wind picks up again, and he shivers and crosses his arms. The sly grin spreads across Kara's face.
Oh, of course you're not.
She moves toward him, and Zack shuffles away again.
Not happening.
But I'm not dressed appropriately for this weather.
How is that my fault?
Kara looks up at him with big, shimmering puppy eyes.
Okay.
She looks defeated and sniffles.
I guess I'll try to manage somehow.
She hugs herself with another theatrical shiver and exaggerates a few more sniffles for added effect. Zack shifts side to side, clearly uncomfortable. He crosses his arms and lets out a deep, deep sigh.
Fine.
He goes to take off his coat, but Kara stops him.
Wait, I don't want you to be cold too.
Well, there's no other option.
That same devilish smirk slides across her face.
Sure there is.
She lifts up Zack's jacket and sits inside, pressing herself against him.
Hey!
What? We have to keep warm, right? This jacket is big enough for the both of us.
Zack looks like he's about to argue but says nothing. Gar smiles and snuggles into him. Zack's cheeks tinge pink, and he looks away from her. Gar notices his blush and smirks again. Smell what? Yeah, for sure. But well, at least Kara is interested in Zack and not the protagonist, not like the player character. So it's not as bad as it could be. But it's still silly. Although there are like different endings to this. I think like depending on like some of your choices and stuff. And like I'm sure you can get an ending with Liana. And I know there's ending guides, but I haven't looked at them because I don't want to like be spoiled about the ending. But yeah, I'm assuming there's something with Amelia. There might be something with Kara, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, so yes and no. And the harem, I guess. But I mean, it would be kind of silly if you did have an ending with Kara, because she is going hard for Zack. So that's funny.
Don't think I'm enjoying this. I'm only doing this because it'll be troublesome if you get sick.
Of course you are. That's so sweet, thank you.
My eyes drift over to Liana. She glances at me and blushes before quickly looking away. Maybe that means she wants to get close too? Oh, like we were just saying. Oh wow, okay. They've done this too much. Give the fair maiden your scarf. And then tip my fedora and say milady. Like seriously, can we get like more like redditor than that? I unwind my scarf, much to the dismay of the Pongo, and hand it over to Liana. She balks.
What are you doing?
I'm being chivalrous.
Chivalrous?
I sew the scarf over her shoulders and shove the rest behind her neck. Liana flushes as I reach around her to loop the other half up to the front. A half smile rises on my lips. Wait, oh, I guess it is a scarf. Over your shoulders. Behind. Oh. Okay, it sounds like you tiny. Well, I guess you do, but it sounded like he was like wrapping it around her neck and just not like just like sewing it there. I guess I don't know. I don't wear scarves. It's fucking hot here. Alright. Anyways, I can be gallant and knightly sometimes. Alright. Your blush deepens.
Well, you don't have to do that.
I know. I want to. Yikes. I cocoon the scarf around her throat again, and Liana's eyes dart to the ground. I tie it in a loose knot, and hoist the fabric up to cover her pink ears. You need it more than I do.
Boy? Boy, boy.
Pango shoots me an indignant look, then hops off my shoulder and into Leona's arms. He finds his way up to her neck and burrows back beneath the scarf, then lets out a contented sigh.
Boy.
The Pango has no loyalty. Sorry, I should have mentioned the scarf is a 2-for-1 deal. Leona laughs.
It seems that way.
She pauses and smiles softly.
Thank you.
No problem.
We are nearing Ellendale. The journey should not be much longer.
Good, but this is getting weird.
Oh, really? What a shame.
Zach gives her a look.
I mean, oh boy. Yeah, it's so cold. Good thing we're almost there.
Zach and Kara quicken their pace, and we follow them for the rest of the journey. We travel for a few days. It seems to get colder and colder the more we travel, but we somehow manage. So I wonder if the next temple is going to be like the ice elemental or whatever. Because there's been fire and earth. So I guess water and ice. And then oh, and there's wind. Because Yara has wind, air, wind. And then there's darkness. I think there's the 5, so the 4 elements and then darkness. And one afternoon, we finally arrive in Ellendale. Although there's still a pleasant chill in the air, the sun's bright waves warm us as it glints off the impressive buildings. The people here are well dressed and pay no attention to us. They must be used to seeing those from out of town. As we venture further into the town, I notice lots of people heading toward the center of the square and into a large structure. What do you guys think that building is over there? Amy glances at where I point and brightens up.
That is exactly where we need to be headed.
Oh, good for me then. She speeds up, looking pleased. Seems like everyone else needs to be there too.
Is there an event going on? What exactly is in there?
But Amy is already out of earshot. We pick up the pace. They keep up. When we enter, I'm blown away by the sheer magnitude of the place. Oh yeah, that's really impressive. The main door is opened into a hallway, which splits off into joining wings. One wing is labeled the library. There is a conservatory and a cultural center too. The conservatory does not allow visitors, but the cultural center seems to be hosting some sort of exhibition, and that is where the crowd of people are filtering into. Leona breathes out in wonder as she takes in the hall, and Kara cranes her neck to get a better look into the library while Zack watches the crowd. Amy turns towards us.
The library in Ellendale is renowned for its collection of rare tomes. It is the largest library in Havengard. Since we are already aware the Wind Temple is in this vicinity, I hope that by cross-referencing the books in the library with the notes from Eldorism, I will be able to narrow down their exact location.
Good idea. Do you need any help?
I am confident that I will discover the information we need sooner rather than later.
You don't have to tell me twice. I've got some business of my own I'd like to take care of while we're here.
Oh, okay. yeah, I guess I could kind of see the similarity to Starfire's voice because, like, the way she speaks softly and I guess with that cadence, how she's like is sort of monotone and like speaks weird because she's supposed to be like super intelligent or whatever. So it does kind of sound like how Starfire speaks because she speaks very deliberately because she's an alien. Yes. Okay, I can see that, and the voice does kind of sound the same. But yeah, no, I don't think it's her, like the actual voice actress. Because in the opening of the game, like, it has like this solo visual novel opening with like a song and the characters, and it shows like the voice actors, the voice actor names, and yeah, I think it's something else, but yeah. Yeah, for sure. It'd be crazy if it was. But yeah. I mean, it's not unheard of that like big name voice actors would do like smaller projects and use fake names. But yeah. And it's funny because like a lot of voice actors are just good at doing a lot of different voices. So like you wouldn't be able to like really pick them out or know for sure if it was them because like, you know, you just like wouldn't know. It's like, oh, that kind of sounds like this person, but like you don't know for sure, especially if they're using a fake name. But like in Metal Gear Solid, they had like some big names in the first game, but because it was like a video game and they weren't like, I think, quote unquote, like recognized as like real voice acting projects, like, or like they, or maybe like the budget wasn't big enough or whatever, I don't know for sure. But yeah, most of the voice actors used fake names. And the funny thing is, like I was saying, like you really wouldn't know, you really couldn't be sure like who the actors were, except for Liquid Snake, who is like so obviously like Cam Clark. Like, I mean, you hear Liquid Snake, and you hear like, if you've heard Cam Clark do like almost like, not almost, but like a lot of his other roles, he has that voice, and it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely him, but that's not the voice, the name that's in the game for Liquid Snake, which I thought was funny. I forgot what the name was that they put on there, but yeah, it was funny to me because like it said like Liquid Snake parentheses the voice actor's name, and I was like, bullshit, that's kind of quick. But yeah, anyways, so it could happen. I don't know. Yeah, it was wild. So yeah, I mean, it could happen. Who knows? Okay. Alright, on with the story. Ooh, Zack narrows his eyes.
What kind of business?
I had no idea you took such an interest in me.
I just want to make sure you weren't getting into trouble.
That doesn't sound like me.
Alright, why don't we all take some time to relax and explore Edendale, and meet back up here afterwards?
Everyone agrees and goes their separate ways. To my surprise, Kara follows Amy into the library. Zack and Liana both move towards the exhibitions and seem surprised by each other's choice. They take a closer look at the exhibition and see two signs. I guess the reason there are so many people here is because there are two exhibitions going on at once. One is on the illusions of the mind, and the other is about the heroes of Isaria. Kauna and Zack both walk towards the exhibit on illusions. Kinda wanna see what that illusions thing is all about. Illusions on the mind sounds like it could be interesting. Some of them are really clever. Alright. I enter the exhibit and catch up with Liana and Zack. Hey guys.
Hey! I didn't know you liked illusions of the mind.
They can be fun. It's just like... The room is filled with different paintings and sculptures. People mill around each piece, squinting in concentration and quietly discussing. We decided to start at one end of the room and work our way down. The first piece is one I'm very familiar with. It's a 2D painting of colored spirals. Liana gasps.
It looks like it's moving.
We will move on to the next one. It's a drawing of an elephant, but something seems off. Both Liana and Zack squint at it. It's missing the leg.
Yeah.
Zack leans closer.
Wait, no it isn't.
Liana counts.
Only 4 legs, but there looks like there should be more.
It is confusing. Remember in agreement as we move on. As we study the next image, my face turns bright red. Is that a naked woman?
Dancing figures.
Liana nods. Really? That's what you see? The two of them give me strange glances.
Yes? What are you seeing?
You know, this is like the weirdest thing. Like, it's a visual novel. They're like telling you a story using, you know, pictures and text, really, and in this case, voice. And a part of the story involves going to a museum of, like, that has pictures, like optical illusion pictures, and instead of showing you the optical illusions, they tell you about them. What the fuck? That was the weirdest, like, design choice I think I've ever come across. Like, who thought of this? And, like, how do I protest? That is so weird. That's like, why? I mean, yeah, that's so weird. I mean, and like, I guess because they're supposed to be common optical illusions, so like, it mentions it, and it's like, oh, okay, I've seen that before, I know what it's talking about, but like, still, just show it. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Time we see the naked woman, why not? The woman. They blink. Of the less than clothed for Ivy. Leona's cheeks turn pink as she studies the image.
What? Really? How?
Look, it's so obvious. She
I
squints.
don't see.
Leona's eyes widen.
Maybe we should move on.
Her cheeks are flushed as she hurries onto the next image. I bet she finally saw it. We pass a few more images, and both Zack and Leona are in agreement of what they see in each one. They spot the old man in the old man or a woman. They spot the old man in the old man or a woman image, and they saw the swan in the rabbit or swan image. I don't know that one. Every time they'd agree, they'd grin at each other, and sometimes they'd even share a glance, as if they were in on a secret no one else knew. It's a bit uncanny how in sync they are with each other right now. I've never seen them get along so well before, or Zack smile so much at once. As we pause at the next solution, a man ponders the image thoughtfully. He wears a black robe with gold stripes, and a mess of blonde hair sits atop his head. His blue eyes squint intently at the image as he ponders the illusion.
All of these images hold so much meaning. They're the epitome of understanding that not everything is as it seems. If you change your perspective, you're told a completely different story.
I mean, sure, I guess.
I see these images and I wonder what it is the artist is trying to share. Which story is theirs? The one that I see first, or the one I understand after further study?
Or like, maybe they're just trying to screw with you?
This piece has been especially interesting. Tell me, what do you see in this picture?
Leona and Zack share a knowing look and grin.
It's obvious.
Yep.
They answer simultaneously. Oh, it's not gonna be the same answer.
Faces.
Vases.
The two of them freeze, their eyes wide in shock.
You meant to say faces, right?
No, they're clearly vases.
No, they're faces.
Unless faces look like vases to you, you're very wrong.
Leona shakes her head.
How could you have been so right about all the others and so wrong about this one?
Actually, in that last illusion, I didn't see a swan. I saw a rabbit!
I trusted you.
I thought that was the only time, but I see now that you've been wrong this whole time.
You're the one who's wrong.
Oh, the betrayal.
No, there's no need to...
Leona and Zack glare at him.
Not now!
Leona suddenly rests her gaze on me.
What do you see?
Hey, I'm staying out of this shit. Oh well, that's... Happy waifu, I see faces. That is super cringe. Sisters before misters, I see faces. Girls before hoes, I see faces. I'm really not, like, happy with either of these choices. I thought one of these choices was gonna be like, I'm not getting into this. I'm not getting in the middle of this, just leave me out, but... apparently that's not a choice. I know, right? That choice is so... like... stupid. I mean, that's like... obviously like the joke choice in a sense, but then it comes out with like regular text. Like, I mean, some of these seemingly outrageous choices like just end up in like regular conversation. Or like the dual thing where like they look at you weird and it's like, okay, forget what I just said. Alright, let's be stupid. I see faces too. Leona grins smugly.
Ha!
Zack shakes his head.
You two are perfect for each other. You have equally bad taste.
Leona and I react at the same time. Perfect for each other.
Bad taste?
She looks at me. I mean, bad taste?
Wait, what did you say?
I saw faces. Ismarkin returns and she spins back to Zack.
That's right. See? Their faces.
Zack sighs.
You're free to believe what you want, even if it's wrong.
She ignores his ass comment, content with her win. The philosopher chimes in before the two of them can continue bickering.
Have you considered the possibility that you're both right?
Leona and Zack stop arguing and look at him.
This illusion tells two independent stories, intertwined in a single piece of art. The precision, the illusion, wrapped in perfect symmetry. To understand another perspective instead of being rigid in one's own perception, that is the true intention.
Are you serious? Leona and Zack nod slowly, as if fully understanding and taking in what he said. Calm and pensive, they face each other again.
I guess it's possible that they're faces.
I'm glad your eyes are finally working.
What? You jerk! You're supposed to say you see faces!
Why would I agree with something wrong?
Their arguments resume and I sigh deeply. Not this again. My gaze wanders the room and I glance wistfully at all the other illusions, wishing we could move on. Hey guys, let's move on. They won't hear me. Guys? Again, the two of them are too wrapped up in their argument to hear me. Seems like this is gonna take a while. I guess I'll finish the exhibit on my own and check back in with them later. Unnoticed, I step away from the group and finish up the tour. Oh, there it is, right. Arrivederci. The sun is beginning to dip in the sky. I'd better go check on Amy and see if she's making progress. After entering the library, I spot Amelia at a secluded table surrounded by a mountain of books. She doesn't hear me approach. Amy.
Hello.
She doesn't look up from her textbook. Did you make any progress? Finally, she looks up at me.
Yes, I did.
She gestures to the books around her.
All of these texts include data on the 100 floating isles. I have spent the afternoon gathering and analyzing all of that information.
Wait, did you say floating isles?
Yes,
As in they're hovering in the air. kind of what it implies, yeah.
Yes,
Don't seem surprised by this.
of course not. The islands float due to the magical dispersion in this area. This is a natural phenomena which has been around since the time of the ancients.
Do people live on these islands?
No, it is not logical nor conducive for habitation. Most of the islands are far too small for colonization, and those which are large enough to hold a small population are not suited for civilization. But because they have been mostly untouched, the Isles are still one of the most beautiful natural wonders of Isaria.
Okay, but if no one lives on the Isles, then why are you studying them?
It is highly likely that the Wind Temple was built upon one of those isles. Based on my hypothesis, the temple would be built on the site of the highest concentration of energy.
Oh. Amy nods and begins to explain her scribbled notes. The rest of the group slowly trickles in. Zack and Leona arrive first, and a short while later, Kara follows.
If my calculations are correct, the temple should be located in this region.
She opens one of the books to a map and points to a cluster of islands. That's great, but we still have a problem. The islands are floating. How are we supposed to get up there?
Wind magic would solve that predicament.
Just like that. Everyone focuses on Leona.
That's true. While I can use wind magic to jump from isle to isle, it's impossible for me to manipulate enough energy to be able to float everyone. I could float myself and perhaps assist one other person.
Obviously, that second person would be him.
Zack gestures to me. Makes sense, I'm the only person who can absorb the energy.
What about the rest of us?
Don't worry, Kara, I'll bring you back some souvenirs from the temple.
I appreciate that, but we should still be close by. The least we can do is keep watch.
We can set up at the edge of the first isle and wait for their return.
That sounds good to me.
There's still some distance for us to travel to reach the Isles. We can cross that distance as a group and split up from there.
Yes, but tomorrow. It's already growing dark, so we should rest tonight.
Let's go find an inn then.
Once in agreement, we help Amy clean up and then return to the streets. Now that the sun has set, the cold seeps through my clothes and chills my skin. A shiver crawls down my spine. Leona blows on her hands.
The change in temperature is really apparent without the sun.
Amy glances at Leona.
If you are cold, perhaps we should inquire whether the Flushed Mermaid has any rooms. Their rooms are more luxurious than the inns we may be used to, but there is a fireplace in each room. I do believe they provide heat stones we may request to slip in our beds, should the blankets be insufficient.
Well, Sansa.
Plus, their hot springs are open for guest usage.
Oh, are we gonna have a hot springs episode now? Kara perks up.
Did you just say hot springs?
Yes, that is,
You had me at hot springs. Let's go there.
She begins to push Amy in a random direction.
this is the incorrect way. The inn is towards the west.
Oops. To the west.
Yeah. Kara hurries Amy towards west as the rest of us follow along. Our group checks in to the Flush Mermaid. The first thing we do is make reservations for the hot springs. Fortunately, their availabilities for the men's and women's hot springs are at the same time. Well, isn't that convenient? After we complete our reservations, We receive our keys to the rooms and go upstairs to get ready. Amy was right when she said the Flesh Mermaid had nice rooms. They're a lot more elegant and grand than any of the others we've stayed in. The second I enter the room, and my eyes are drawn to the pale wooden dressers, gilded with clamshells and pearls. 2 couches sit before a flickering ivory fireplace. The mantle is streaked with silver waves, with a mermaid carved at the center. Dang, will we always stay in rooms like this?
They're expensive.
Well, that's it, just like that. What an idiot. Zack heads to his room as I find robes and towels in my closet. Once I'm ready, I meet up with Zack, and we go downstairs and make our way to the men's side of the hot springs. I step down into the pool, shivering at the first touch of heat. Zack settles across from me, enveloped in a vapor cloud. I sink even lower for the water to cover my chest. The pongo plops next to me with a small splash. After a moment, he drifts back up to the surface like a fishing bobber. The pongo drifts in place, his mouth still covered underwater. A second later, he lets out a happy, bubbly noise. Boy! I'm happy for you, Pongo. I really am. I smile and pat him on his head. This is nice, isn't it? The Pongo beams up at me. He leaps out of the pool and then makes a game of jumping in and out of the water. So Zack doesn't even open his eyes. His arms are spread along the edge of the pool. How's life?
Fine.
Silence. Catch any scary bad guys recently? The response. I frown, sinking a little lower into the water. I notice a huge scar that ripples across Zack's chest. Cool scar. Where'd you get it? Zack finally opens his eyes. He stares me down. Okay, maybe I struck a nerve. Never mind. Zack turns away. Man, this obviously isn't going anywhere. I might as well just enjoy the hot springs and stop trying to get him to talk. I close my eyes and try to brush off our awkward conversation. Everything is so quiet. Too quiet. I don't even hear the pongo splashing around. I open my eyes and realize he's not there. Hey, where's the pongo? Zack looks around. The pongo is nowhere in sight. Pongo is constantly running off. Aren't you curious about where he goes?
No.
If he's not hanging around with me, he's usually with Amy. For science. Zack arches an eyebrow.
And?
No. Bad. I'm not doing that. I guess we'll stick around here. Yeah, true. Never mind. Zack and I stay in the hot springs until our time is up. We gather our towels and go back to the inn. In the back of my mind, I wonder if the Pongo really did go to the girl's side. I can't help but feel like I'm missing out on something. Well, that was just like a huge freaking little billboard of a hint. Yeah, for real, like, especially when that choice came up, like, I wasn't sure what he was getting at or whatever, and then when Zach is just like, yeah, so, like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, so what, who cares where the Pongo goes? Like, because it's not always just, like, to be with Amelia or Liana, like, sometimes it just, like, disappears, like, completely. But, like, it's like, oh no, let's investigate the girl side. Like, that's so obvious and dumb. And I was like, we're not doing that. After our time is up in the hot springs, we change back into our clothes and meet at the Flesh Mermaid Inn to have a late night snack. We gather around a mother of pearl table, flecked with bits of coral. The chairs here are more comfortable than the wooden ones I've gotten used to. The servers bring us each a scoop of ice cream. Liana grins and digs in.
Wow, this is delicious!
What kind do you have?
Chocolate.
Kari's expression turns wicked.
Looks good. Mind if I try?
Not at all.
She goes to silo the bowl, but instead Kara moves in on the spoon of ice cream that Liana is holding and eats directly from it.
Kara!
Yep, you're right. It's delicious.
Kara giggles and winks. Zack stares at the scene. Kara seems to feel his stare because she turns to face him.
What's wrong? Want me to lick yours, too?
Zack chokes on his ice cream as his face becomes completely red.
Oh, wait, never mind. We both got the same flavor.
She grins deviously.
I'm glad we have the same tastes.
Zack mumbles something incoherent. After we're done with our snack, we all decide to turn in for the night. We make our way towards the staircase to our bedrooms. On our way upstairs, Zack spots a fancy vase.
Hey, Liana, what's that?
Liana looks.
What? You mean that?
She suddenly pauses, pink creeps into her cheeks.
Sorry, I didn't catch what you just said. What is that?
She frowns.
It's Two Faces.
I let out a low groan. Not this again. Kara and Amelia blink in confusion.
Liana, is it not clear that the object to which Zack is referring is a vase?
I know what I saw.
Zack smirks triumphantly as Liana crosses her arms and pouts. Kara looks from Zack to Liana and then shakes her head.
I'm not even going to ask.
That's for the best. Yes, I envy your ignorance of the situation, Kara. We hike up the stairs and separate into our rooms.
Oi!
I glance down. You wanna stay with us, Pongo? The Pongo perks up.
Oi, boy!
I open the door a little wider and he bounces into the room. The wind howls outside and I automatically step closer to the fireplace. Didn't Amy say something about sipping hot stones into our beds if we're cold? Zach has already rolled away from me. By his heavy breathing, I can tell he is already asleep. I feel pretty relaxed too. I suppose that's the thing about hot springs. Helps you relax and get a good night's sleep. I guess, sure. I got into my bed, where the sheets are smooth and welcoming. Pongo snuggles up next to me under the blankets. My eyelids feel heavy, and in only a few minutes, I find myself drifting off into a deep sleep. Sunlight blasts through the windows and wakes me up bright and early. I groan as I sit up in bed, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. I squint at the bed next to me. Zach is nowhere in sight. I guess he's on an even earlier riser. After I'm dressed, Pongo leaps onto my shoulder. Good morning. He lets out a little yawn.
Boy, boy.
It's pretty early, huh? The Pongo nods and snuggles against my neck, closing his eyes.
Boy.
We have a long day of traveling ahead of us. Wonder if everyone is already downstairs. I open the door and step into the hall. As predicted, I find everyone already waiting for me downstairs.
Ready to go?
Yeah, I have everything.
Great! Then let's get going.
We set off towards the floating aisles. With the bright sun in the sky, I barely feel a chill in the air. Seems like Liana and the rest of the team are feeling much warmer too. Maybe this is from the magic of the hot springs, warming us from the inside. Either way, I'm not complaining. The walk to the air temple takes a few hours. Lately, I've been getting used to all of the traveling. But why is everything so far away from each other?
We made it!
A very good point. We did?
Yep! Look!
I glance to where Leon is pointing, and my mouth drops open. There are 100 floating islands sprawled out across the sky. Hearing Amelia tell me about them was one thing, but actually seeing them in person...
I've never seen anything like it.
Me neither.
Even Zach looks impressed. All the isles are of different shapes and sizes, just big enough for maybe a few people to stand on. The wind tosses the glistening grass from side to side. I can make out clusters of different flowers, referring some of the islands, pale purples and fluffy magentas. Fluffy flowers, that's different.
Just as I expected, the temple should be here.
Where exactly? Amelia points above the aisles and up into the clouds.
You and Liana will find the air temple at the highest floating aisle.
It's a good thing I'm not scared of heights.
We'll set up here while you guys go do your thing.
Good luck.
Yana and I nod.
Off we go then!
Yana and I travel up the slope in silence. After a while, I glance back and feel unease when the rest of our party members are no longer in sight. As we continue to travel upwards, I feel my ears pop. Just how high up are we? We finally reached the pinnacle point of the mountain. The aisles are closer and look even more impressive. The closest aisles look deceivingly close, but I know that if I try to jump without the boost of magic, I'd never make it. A breeze ruffles my hair as I step closer to the edge. I look down, and down, and down. My chest tightens. That is a very long drop.
Don't worry, we're not going in that direction.
Nelly gives me a reassuring smile. I feel slightly better, but my stomach is still in knots. I glance up at the first aisle. How are we gonna do this? Mina sprints past me and effortlessly jumps high in the air. She lands gracefully onto the platform. No matter how many times I watch Yana use magic to augment physical skills, it never ceases to amaze me just how badass it is.
Your turn. Take a running start and jump. I'll boost you over.
As I look at the massive gap between the edge and the first aisle, my knees become shaky and weak. What if I really do fall? Just freaking do it. I've believed in Liana so far, no reason to doubt her now. I close my eyes and recompose myself. It's gonna be quite literally a leap of faith. I step a few paces back and get ready to sprint. Ready?
Yep.
Here goes nothing. I dash towards the edge and jump with all my strength. I feel a powerful gust of wind lift me high in the air. Whoa! In one smooth motion, I make it onto the platform with the breeze, softening my landing. My heart is racing.
You okay?
That was awesome! Rihanna looks surprised and giggles.
You ready for the next one?
I don't know why she's so surprised, like we all know he's so spaz already. Yeah, let's do it. We walk across the aisle and position ourselves to jump onto the next one.
Alright, you're going to try this next jump with your own magic channeling.
My blood runs cold. My magic? And a nut.
I know you can do it. You just have to use the wind like a springboard and you'll fly right over. Find the spot that you're gonna take off from and conjure a powerful gust of wind from there as you jump.
Right. Yana speaks, encouragingly, trying to calm my nerves.
Don't worry. If it doesn't work, I'll help.
I look at the next aisle.
Just remember what we've practiced. You'll be fine.
Yeah, this whole floating island thing is pretty cool. It's a good look. I nod and prepare a running start. Use the wind as a springboard. Right, I can do that. Sure. I suck in a deep breath. To infinity and yonder. I dash ahead, forcing myself to push past my nerves and focus my mind on my manipulator. My stomach drops as my feet leave the ground, but I try to push through the fear and focus on casting. A surge of energy shoots down my arm. My gauntlet glows and the air swirls up around me, pushing me forward. I let out a startled cry as I fly through the air. I land hard on the next aisle and feel the wind escape me. But at least I made it over on my own.
That was excellent!
Yana floats onto the same aisle and lands gracefully on her feet, a wide smile on her face.
You were able to augment your abilities on the first try! I'm so proud of you!
Your smile is contagious, and I grin back. I mean, if it's that surprising that, like, that I did it on the first try, why were you making me do it? It is very unsafe teaching.
You ready to
Thanks.
keep going?
I'm not, now brimming with confidence. Let's go. As when Liana and I leap and land on the next island, and the next, and the next. The first few times I jump, I float shakily in the air, but the more I cast, the easier it becomes. We hop from isle to isle, keeping pace and making good time. Liana catches my grin and laughs, springing ahead of me. I smirk. Two can play at that game. Why does it always have to be like... whatever. I push forward with another surge of magical energy and race ahead of her.
It's like that, is it?
Sure, of course it is. She wears a determined look, and a roar of wind soars her overhead. You're on. I keep after her. Or leap after her, whatever. Remember and repeat the icon pattern. Alright, so let's see if we win the race, I guess. Oh, that looks too bad. We leap from platform. The whole time, I managed to keep pace with Liana. Her sunny hair whips about each jump. Her laughter streams across the clouds, bright and delighted. We race forward, but I can't quite seem to pass her. We finally soar and slide to a stop on the final platform, our shoes flinging up grass and dirt. I laugh, the sound breathless and spiky. My lungs burn as I take in gulps of air. Now that we finally stopped, I realize how much energy I've used. My muscles ripple with exhaustion. I feel like I could collapse and take a nap right here. Do you mind if we take a quick break? She nods.
That's a good idea. You aren't used to such a heavy energy usage in a short amount of time.
It's comfortable and peaceful as Liana and I sit down.
It's beautiful here.
I follow her gaze. It really is. The clouds look as soft as spun sugar. They glide across the blue sky, as clouds do. Dappled sunlight glints off of Liana's white armor. Her hair dances across her face as we watch the sun begin to dip low behind the clouds.
It's so nice here. It makes me happy.
Happy. She nods.
I don't feel so weighed down here. It's like I'm free.
I blink at her, curious. Free from what?
Everything. It's just... I don't know. The looming responsibility of the world weighs me down sometimes.
Ugh, so tragic. Oh. A small chuckle puffs out of me. The looming responsibility of the world? Liana blushes.
I suppose it's not the whole world. It's just... there's sometimes so much expectation. From the Mage Guild, from guards and places we visit because of the sigil.
She hesitates for a second.
And from my family. It all gets so overwhelming.
she's always so calm, collective, and upbeat. I guess it's hard to remember she's human too when she keeps up such a strong facade. Oh yes, the happy, perfect girl actually has feelings. Oh my god, what a revelation. She doesn't talk about her family much, and from the way she hesitated when mentioning them just now, I gathered their relationship may be strained. Expectations from your family? Yeah, so of course the thing I'm gonna do is go directly to it and ask you what your deal is with your family. She pauses and hugs her knees close to her chest.
Well, in this world, a lot of women my age are already married and have children. It's something my family has always wanted for me. Those things, they aren't bad, but it's not something I want to think about right now. I want to explore and see everything. I want to be free.
I'm not understanding. It must have been tough to constantly have those expectations on your shoulders. Yana smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. She shrugs.
Yeah, I love my family, but we definitely have different views on things.
Yeah, of course. There's a pause.
Ever since I joined the Mage Guild, I feel like I can finally breathe. I can look to the horizon and know that I can just go there.
Not really, like... Because the girls are, like, so tropey that, like... I don't know, I don't have, like, a preference, and none of them really, like, appeal to me. And, like, even this part, like, because, you know, Liana was, like, the happy, peppy, self-assured girl. And, like, even this part, where she's, like, opening up and showing her sensitive side, like, even that is a trope, like, for this type. Like, the cool, badass, usually, like, the tomboyish girl, is shown to be, like, really sweet and sensitive, and I really hate that trope, by the way, because like, it's so much feeds into, like, no, not, it's not tsundere, cause the tsundere is more like, actively aggressive, like, usually towards the protagonist, and, like, that's okay, that's kind of fun to see, but, like, and see, the thing with the tsundere is that it's usually because she probably harbors secret feelings for the protagonist, so, like, and it's just, like, elementary school shit, where, like, she's treating him, badly because she just, like, doesn't know how to deal with her own feelings, so she just, like, acts out, but, like, she really likes him, and, like, it's just, like, whatever. But, like, the trope I'm specifically talking about is, like, the girl that's, like, usually into sports, like, kind of, like I said, like a tomboy, usually has short hair, sometimes short spiky hair, because it's anime, and like looks more like dresses and acts more like a boy. And so like yeah, and usually like good mood, very peppy. And like what I usually hate about that trope is that they always, not always, but a lot of times they make her at some point like open up because of like some sort of trauma or something, and make her like so sensitive and sympathetic. Yeah, I was trying to remember the name, but I can't because there were so many, and it's been a while since like I actually like explored and like knew all the top types like off the top of my head. But yeah, and yeah, exactly. They're usually like with those types. But yeah, the reason I don't like it is because they like, you know, break them down, make them emotional, and it's just to like feed into this like idea that like, oh, you know, she's tough on the outside, but like she's still like vulnerable. She's still like a vulnerable little girl on the inside, which means you can still like just love her the right way, and she'll like be right for you or whatever, and like you just have to treat her right, or just treat her in just the right way, and like there you go, like girlfriend. I just like hate that. But yeah, so that's how I feel about like those types. They're just like so misused. And then if they don't do that trope, if they don't like do that to the character, then they just like don't use the character at all. Then they're just like the one personality type, and like that's it. Like there's nothing to build on, because it just like doesn't appeal to, I guess, the target audience. So you just like leave it, and it's just sad. Anyways.
But all this doesn't matter. I know I'll have to leave the guild one day and fulfill the expectations others have for me. Why even bother doing any of this if it's all so fleeting?
Yes, Yana, what does any of it mean? What is the meaning of life? What's the point of existence? Sometimes it's better not to think about what's to come. It's better to just enjoy the moment for how it is. Yana blinks.
Enjoy the moment.
Are you fucking serious? Like, you've never... That's... like, never been a thing here? You have guys who are fucking philosophizing over optical illusions, and no one thought of living the moment before this? Yeah, just appreciate things for how they are right now. Rihanna looks a little confused, but interested. The experience you have, the memories you make, those are not fleeting. They stay with you forever. They make you who you are as a person. If you get so wrapped up on how you're supposed to live, you forget to actually live. I really hate this right now.
I never really thought about it like that.
I nod reassuringly. Like today, you're free and able to travel, right? We've been hopping around in the air and it's been fun. And I don't know about you, but when I'm soaring through the clouds, I can't think of anything except how amazing the moment feels. God, this is so cheesy and lame. That's how you should live every day. Well, this is... Liana tilts her head, intrigued.
That's an interesting way to view things. But what about the responsibilities you still have?
Oh wait, I don't care about responsibilities or obligations, fuck that shit. I don't really care about that stuff. I just do what I want. Who cares about responsibilities? Liana frowns.
But what about your studies? Your job? Your family? Don't you have obligations to them?
Sure, but those obligations will always be there. Why should I make myself unhappy by worrying about them? Liana's frown deepens. She shakes her head and looks away. A flock of birds suddenly shoot up into the sky. The movement tosses back our hair, and we watch them fly by in silence. Liana stands and stretches. She smiles and glances at me.
Do you think you've rested enough?
I nod and rise up to my feet. Yeah, let's get going. I like the way that, like, he was kinda onto something, and then we just veer it into, like, total selfish jerk territory. We bounce across even more platforms. It takes a lot more work to soar to them than before, partially because they're further and further apart, and partially because I'm already weary from all the air hopping we did earlier. The sky is painted pink and purple by the time we reach the highest floating isle. We step into the island and look around. The flowers Oh yeah, shimmy, cause breeze, okay. The flowers shimmy in the breeze, and the far corner is the familiar sight of a temple ruin.
This must be it.
I hear a low groaning sound. What was that?
This must be the entrance.
I follow her gaze to a large open archway. It's too dark for me to tell what's inside. A freezing, moaning wind spirals out of it and rustles the grass and flowers outside. I shiver, but try to shake off the cold. Oh, go ahead. I walk towards the entrance, and the wind howls. It roars and tumbles out of the door, pushing me away. I grunt and try to fight my way through, but I'm unsuccessful.
It looks like there's a strong gust of wind here to keep people from entering. Let's try springing ourselves forward.
I nod, both Liana and I take our place. With a running start, we use wind to augment our speed and try to push through. Even though Liana makes it ahead of me, the wind is too strong and we're both eventually pushed out. Damn.
Here, take my hand.
Huh?
I'll slingshot you in.
I'm not sure that's how it works, Liana.
If this is where the elemental will be, maybe absorbing the energy will lower this barrier, and I can follow after.
Alright, sure, whatever. I nod and take her hand.
1, 2, 3!
We both dash forward, channeling our energy, and push as deep as we can. At the point of our apartment, Liana rotates and throws me, slingshotting me forward. I'm still not sure that's how it works. I fly through the gulls and tumble into the temple. Looking back, I can't see her past the darkness. At least that worked. I end up in a room filled with crumbling stone and rusted relics. Surprisingly, I stand alone in this room. Where where is the elemental? She was always waiting for me in the last two temples. Am I supposed to summon her somehow? I take a look around the room. More items are scattered about, but I don't spot anything that looks obviously magical. I don't know how to do scans like Kauna and Amy, and the Pongo isn't here to gravitate towards anything with energy. What should I do? I step further in, then pause when a pair of inverted eyes appear from the top of my vision. With a sharp yelp, I fall back. Oh. A young lady giggles as she floats over. I think that's the air elemental. Instead of imparting me with her power, she merely watches me. Okay then. Yeah, that's about my reaction. So, you're the air elemental? She tilts her head. What shall I do? I bring my hand up to my chin to think. The air elemental blinks and does the same, resting her chin on her hand. Whoa, wait, are you copying me? I slowly wave a hand. After a second, she smiles and does the same. You are, aren't you? I tap the top of my head. She giggles and does the same. She seems pretty playful. Yeah. Okay, it's I make a pointer with my hands and slowly reach towards her. What do you mean make a pointer? Like just hold out your finger at her, or what? She floats closer and does the same with her hand. Our hands move closer and closer until our fingertips touch. The sensation is something I've never felt before. Although my finger doesn't fall through her like an illusion, I don't feel a physical contact either. Through my fingertip, I feel a tendril of calm, ethereal energy, almost like she's testing me. She smirks, and suddenly a gale storm erupts in the room. It circles around me, whipping my hair into my eyes, but I stay steady on my feet. After the wind envelops me, it begins to channel into my body. I feel the rush of energy coursing through me. It makes me feel weightless, as if lifting the burdens of gravity from my body. The stronger and more rejuvenated I feel, the more the elemental begins to fade. Before she disappears, she grins and raises her hand to wave. Thank you. The last thing I see is her beaming smile as I absorb the last bit of energy, and she disappears. That was a surreal experience. start making my way back through the tunnel.
Hey!
I see Leona jog over.
The wind outside disappeared, so I came in here as fast as I could. Did something happen?
Yeah, I found the air elemental. Leona brings up her manipulator and does a scan.
It seems like you absorbed the energy in here as well.
Yep, she transferred the energy like the other elementals. But the experience was a bit different.
Different?
She was curious about me. Instead of waiting for me in the room to transfer the energy immediately, she started copying my movements. Almost like she was playing with me. It was pretty cool. Leona blinks.
Are you telling me you played a mind game with one of the ancients?
I suppose so.
I'm sure Amy will want to know the details of what happened. To be honest, I'm pretty curious myself. But we've been gone a while now. And now that we've gotten what we came for, we should head back.
Agreed, but first let's grab a few things. Gotta loot.
Oh right, you did promise Kara.
We search around the room and decide on a few interesting trinkets and coins to pick up. Once we're all set, we exit the temple. Okay, so with another temple, like, conquered, I guess, checked off, visited, whatever, I think now is a good time to stop it for this week and pick it up next time. So yeah, if you liked what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, hit the bell for notifications. I'm on Twitch or YouTube, all that first things. Check my Twitch schedule to see when I'm streaming. Check my Twitter for any last minute changes to the stream. Yes, very cheesy. Yes, I gotcha. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Real James. Thanks for chatting, supporting. I really appreciate it. And thanks for suffering this with me. Yeah, so I'll see you next time. Ooh, really kind of have to go right now. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the stream, and hope to see you at the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.